We're in today with the GT430. This is a 2010 video card with 96 shaders, 1 gig of DDR3 Samsung, 128 bits bus width with DirectX 11 support, running at 730 MHz on the core clock and 900 MHz on the memory clock. We're gonna pair it up with this Intel Xeon X5687 at 3.6, and we are going to see how this system overall is running in a couple of games. All right, we are in GTA 5 with 1080p with normal details with 50% render scale, 0.5 on the frame scale. This is very interesting because in the garage I always have low FPS and it shows me 26 FPS on average. Not the right numbers. Hopefully in the game, in the lobby, I'll get more, seriously. So on the lobby, we are getting 40 FPS on average with 17 minimals and 20%, I will say 21 on 1%, and I think this is not the right numbers. I think I have to lower the resolution in order to get better minimals and 1%. 0.8 gig of VRAM and 99% load on the core of the video card shows me that the video card is still a weak video card for today's gaming. I cannot blame the CPU in this occasion because it's only using 50% load on the core. Let's take a look on the CPU side and see how it's running. See, there's barely a couple of threads that wants to reach maximum, but there is no problem on the CPU side, you know. So the CPU is actually doing its job in this occasion with 9.5 gig of system RAM. The CPU is doing the job, but the GPU is fully maxed out. And I think in order to de-stress the video card, I have to lower the resolution in order to get better FPS. I mean, better FPS, I mean 60 FPS, but it's very hard to achieve that. In order to achieve that, I think I have to put it on 800 by 600 and take the, the render scale back to 100%. Let's try that and see how it looks. And this is the closest thing you can get to 60 FPS, 50 FPS actually. Instead, you will be able to play GTA 5 like this. Do remember that this video card costs less than this game, so ideal will be to find games that are actually good for this video card, not games like GTA 5, seriously. But if you already have the game and it's on a shared platform like Steam and you want to play on an older machine, it is possible to do that. Let's jump into Fortnite on 1080p with performance mode with 50% render scale and see how the game is performing. I need this, I'm 100%. All right, let's take a look and see what we got here. 70 FPS on average, 0.9 gig of VRAM use, 98% load on the core. I mean, the GPU is kind of maxed out. So on the CPU side, we got no threads maxed out, apparently. The only thing I'm interested now, so on the GPU side, I got maximum core load, 94% fan speed, because I want to keep the GPU cooled, because it's a small one, but it's getting hot too, so I don't want that. In Fortnite, apparently, we are getting around 60 FPS on average, with 22 minimals and 47 on 1%. This is because we put 50% render scale on 1080p with low details on performance mode. The core is maxed out, the VRAM is nearly maxed out, the CPU doesn't have any problems in this situation because we can actually see that the cores are not maxed out, but it's stressing the CPU too. But I'm not blaming the CPU today because the GPU is on maximum load. In this situation, you can actually see that the CPU is doing a fantastic job with 9.3 gig of system being utilized. There's no stress here and kind of gets a playable FPS in some situation. Hopefully, I don't enter in a fight so I can die instantly. Doesn't matter how everything looks, it's working with 70 FPS on average. So I will take it, considering how little is the list for the games that actually runs on this video card. So I will say this is a big win. It's kind of hard on this video card, seriously. It's only got 1 gig of VRAM. Everything is kind of horrible with the specs on the video card. But if you are willing to lower the quality, you may end up with some FPS in order to play Fortnite. Let's take Farlight and see how the game is performing with 1080p and 25% render scale here. The game already knew that I have to put it here because I have low-end GPU. Let's jump in. All right, I'm averaging around 40 FPS on in this game. I need the lower resolution with this, and the only way you can do it is using borderless screen and lowering the desktop resolution. I got very bad minimals, that is 17, 18, and I wish I had better, 27 or 1%. I mean, the FPS it's there on average, but the core load is kind of full in this situation. You actually see 99% load on the core and 0.7 gig of VRAM utilized. The CPU, no stress, 30-40%, in between 20 and 50% load on the CPU, with 7.7 gig of system RAM utilized. It's good. It's a good performance, but I wish I had chosen a better resolution for this video card now. I don't even know how many people are left in this final game. Seriously, I'm actually curious.
So, how does getting an entire squad?
Very interesting to see this. Come on, baby, look at that. I even got a win with this video card, seriously. Let's test Paladins and see how it's running with this video card on 1080p with low details. If there is any problems, we're gonna drag this render scale down and hope for the best. Apparently I have to drag down this to 50%. Yeah, I have to put it on to 50% in order to get the FPS I want. Doesn't look that great, but it's working. Come on, GT 430. Give me the FPS I want from this. I want a game that runs with hundreds of FPS. 100 FPS on average, but minimals, and 1% is kind of horrible. The VRAM is not utilized at maximum, only 0.4 gig of VRAM is used, so I would say that it's a big win for this video card, but the maximum core there is not helping. I think the core is way too low on this situation. Oh yeah, you took it like a champ, boy. Come on, look at this. It's kind of fantastic. The CPU has no problem here with 40% load, 7 gig of system RAM being used. I would say this is a win from the LGA 1366. On the CPU side, do I have any threads that are maxed out? I'm actually curious. Apparently there's a couple of them that are maxed out. So the CPU, it's reaching maximum on the threads, you know? That's a bit weird, because maybe that is the problem in this situation, because I don't have maximum VRAM and I'm thinking that the core is delivering exactly what I need from the video card, but on the CPU side get a couple of hiccups that is lowering my minimals. Let's jump into Team Fortress 2 and see how it's running here. This is gonna be very interesting to see on 1080p with low details how the video card is holding 80-90 FPS. I think like in Paladins it will do the same FPS. What the f was that? I'm not gonna lie, I actually like the performance here that I'm seeing in Team Fortress 2 with this video card. Look at this, it's working really nice. The CPU is not stressed, 30-40% load. I think this is exactly what I need from this. There's a couple of threads on the CPU that actually is lagging. I'm not lagging because they are maxed out, the threads, but the system, it's utilizing properly the, how shall I say, the computer. 7.3 gig of system RAM. I mean, the GPU on the other hand, 0.5 gig of VRAM used and 70% load on the core. That's actually good performance from this video card, seriously. In some cases you can actually see it's not fully 100%, but it's doing the job and delivering with 70 FPS on average. Team Fortress is got a lot of, how shall I say, a lot of details you can adjust in order to get this, how shall I say, this performance. So yes, the average is good. The FPS on this video card is kind of interesting, but don't have good minimals and 1%. If you put even lower resolution, I'm 100% sure you get better FPS. The system is not fully maxed out with this LGA 1366, but it does have some problems on minimals and 1%. That's the only thing I'm disappointed here. Let's try and see if Dota 2 is working on this GT430. I'm just curious, but in order to do that, I put it on full screen with 720p and minimal details. hopefully the game will run on this. Look, in a team fight, the minimals and the 1% are getting way too low in this situation. So 80 FPS on average, but in a team fight, apparently the game is dropping down to 40, 50 with 30 minimals and 52 on 1%. The GPU VRAM is not fully loaded. You can see that it's eating only 0.7 gig of VRAM in this situation. 90% load on the core or the video card when it's in a team fight. On the CPU side, we're utilizing 9.7 gig of system RAM, 30-40% load on the CPU, and in some cases you can actually see that it's reaching 50% load on the CPU. The CPU, it's kind of okay, but the threads, there's a couple of threads that are maxing. I mean, they are being utilized. It's kind of good performance overall from this system. But the GPU side, it's a bit hard on the video card. You can actually see that even the VRAM, it's not maxed out. The core, in some situation, it's just reaching 99% load, and that's it. It drops the FPS to 10 minimals and 47 on 1%. But we can jump in Modern Warfare 3 with 1080p and low details and see how the GPU is holding. But you can actually see that in this situation you can play the game with 90 FPS on average, 23 on minimal, 52 on 1%, and apparently the video card is not utilizing the performance, maximum performance. It's not stressing the video card in this situation, and I really like the performance. I mean, I like the performance overall, and I think this is the type of game that I need to play on this video card in order to have high FPS. No. Mata. Oh yeah, 2 people! The games that you have to put on this video card needs to be old. The games that need to be put on this video card needs to be light. The games that needs to be put on this video card needs to be the same age like this video card, at least. My suggestion is to put older games and make it as a retro machine, because it's got more chance in that direction for old titles, retro gaming machine. That will be my suggestion. If you managed to find it entertaining, today's benchmark, make sure you smash that like button. If you have any suggestion with this video card or with this system, leave a comment. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. And I will see you very soon.